I'm going to tell you how the solar eclipse of April 8th, 2024 is going to change your life and the whole world. The moment that many eagerly anticipated and others feared has arrived. On April 8th, 2024, all of America will witness a cosmic event of epic proportions, a total solar eclipse. But this isn't just a typical astronomical event. It's being interpreted by scholars and religious leaders as a prophetic sign, possibly indicating times of change. Are you prepared for this mysterious moment? Stay tuned until the end, because I will tell you how you can harness all that energy. Join me as we explore the details and most significant developments of this extraordinary event that is about to occur across America. The total solar eclipse on April 8th, 2024 is more than just an astronomical spectacle. It's an opportunity for us to pause and reflect on the universe and our place in it. Imagine the moon completely covering the sun, turning day into night for a few moments. This phenomenon reminds us of the magnitude and beauty of the cosmos, inviting us to contemplate the wonder and mystery of the universe in which we live. It's not something that happens every day. In fact, few generations have the privilege of witnessing a total solar eclipse covering all of America. So, get ready for this once-in-a-lifetime event and join us to discover more about this extraordinary moment that awaits us. Are you ready to witness this cosmic wonder? Don't miss out. Remember to like, subscribe, and leave your comment so we can enjoy this historic event together. Historically, what makes this eclipse so special? Is it just another rare astronomical event, or is there something deeper happening? Some religious leaders are posing questions about whether this eclipse could be a sign of something greater, something of a prophetic nature, or even a divine judgment. It's understandable that these questions arise. History is full of examples of people interpreting astronomical events as signs from God or warnings of significant changes in society. And when it comes to a total solar eclipse that truly darkens the day, it's hard not to feel a sense of mystery and deeper meaning. Some individuals turn to scriptures to understand this event better, seeking biblical passages that talk about the darkened sun, interpreting these events as signs of spiritual and social changes. For them, the eclipse is more than just an astronomical phenomenon. It's a divine manifestation, a reminder of the presence and power of the transcendent in our lives. On the other hand, some people simply see the eclipse as a beautiful spectacle of nature, an opportunity to witness the greatness of the cosmos and reflect on our smallness in the universe. For them, the eclipse is an opportunity to marvel at the complexity and beauty of the world we live in, without attributing any specific meaning beyond the scientific. Regardless of how each person interprets it, the solar eclipse offers us all a pause in our daily lives, an opportunity to stop, look up, and remember that we are part of something much larger and more mysterious than ourselves. It's a humble reminder of our temporary position as inhabitants of this planet, surrounded by mysteries that we are still trying to unravel. And perhaps at the end of the day, that's what makes the total solar eclipse of April 8th, 2024 so special. Its ability to make us pause, look up, and contemplate the unknown. Solar eclipses always stir excitement, especially among religious leaders and believers in God. There seems to be a special trend to interpret these events as more than just a simple astronomical phenomenon. It's as if every time the moon decides to cast its shadow over the sun, modern-day prophets gather to analyze what that means in spiritual terms. Spiritual, sometimes solar eclipses awaken so much religious interest because there is a certain spectacle as if the entire universe were winking at us earthlings, as if it were trying to tell us something important. And of course, religious leaders are ready to decipher those signals when it comes to evangelicals. Many of them see solar eclipses as a kind of divine warning, as if God were indicating that something big is about to happen. And they are not simply taking these signals out of nowhere. They have biblical references to support their interpretations. Some people turn to scriptures to understand this event. They seek biblical passages that speak about the darkened sun, interpreting these events as signs of spiritual and social changes for them. The eclipse is more than an astronomical phenomenon. It is a divine manifestation, abundance and manifestation, a reminder of the presence and power of the transcendental in our lives. On the other hand, there are also those who simply see the eclipse as a beautiful spectacle of nature, an opportunity to witness the greatness of the cosmos and reflect on our insignificance in the universe. For them, the eclipse is an opportunity to marvel at the complexity and beauty of the world in which we live, without attributing any meaning to it beyond the scientific, regardless of how each person interprets it. The solar eclipse offers us all a pause in our daily lives, an opportunity to stop, look up, and remember that we are part of something much bigger and more mysterious than ourselves. It is a humble reminder of our position as temporary inhabitants of this planet, surrounded by mysteries that we are still trying to unravel. And perhaps at the end of the day, that is what makes the total solar eclipse of April 8th, 2024 so special. Its ability to make us stop, look up, and contemplate the unknown solar eclipses always cause a stir, especially among religious leaders. Among those who believe in God, there seems to be a special trend to interpret these events as something more than a simple astronomical phenomenon. It is as if every time the moon decides to cast its shadow over the sun, modern prophets gather to analyze what that means in spiritual terms. Sometimes solar eclipses awaken so much religious interest because there is a certain spectacle as if the entire universe were winking an eye at us, earthlings, as if it were trying to tell us something important. And of course, religious leaders are ready to decipher these signals when it comes to evangelicals. Many of them see solar eclipses as a kind of divine warning, as if God were signaling that something big is about to happen, and they are not simply taking these signals out of nowhere. They have biblical references to support their interpretations. For example, there is that verse from the book of Joel that speaks about the sun turning into darkness and the moon into blood before the great and terrible day of the Lord comes. That sounds a bit like a solar eclipse, doesn't it? And of course, there is the book of Revelation, filled with images of cosmic catastrophes preceding the end times. So when a solar eclipse appears in the sky, it's as if those who believe in God are flipping through the pages of the Bible, trying to find the chapter and verse that fit into this celestial narrative. And many times they find what they are looking for, which only reinforces the belief that something big is about to happen. Of course, not all Christians interpret solar eclipses this way. Some simply see them as fascinating natural events with no deeper meaning. But for those who are convinced that we are living in the last days, each solar eclipse is another confirmation that the clock of Judgment Day is ticking, and that can have very tangible consequences. I remember a solar eclipse that occurred a few years ago. There was a whole commotion among certain religious groups, and some even began to prepare for the end of the world. They stockpiled canned food, built underground shelters, the whole package. It's easy to mock it, of course, but it's also important to recognize that faith is a powerful force in people's lives. If someone genuinely believes that a solar eclipse is a sign of the imminent apocalypse, that completely shapes how they view the world and behave in it. So the next time you see a solar eclipse, maybe it's a good opportunity to reflect not only on the mysteries of the universe, but also on the mysteries of human faith. Because after all, what is more fascinating than the way we try to make sense of the inexplicable? We have the rapture and the final judgment, two of the hottest topics in theological universe. It's like we're in a big Hollywood movie, waiting to see who the heroes are that will escape at the last minute, and who the villains are that will face a terrible fate. But of course, this is much more than just entertainment. For many, it's a matter of faith and eternal salvation. So let's start with the rapture. That concept makes some believers feel like they're about to embark on the best journey of their lives. The basic idea is that before the Great Tribulation, a period of distress and suffering preceding the end of the world, believers will be snatched up to the heavens. It's as if God is giving them a VIP pass to escape all the chaos that is about to come. There is much speculation about how this rapture will happen. Some believe it will literally be like in the movies, with millions of people simply disappearing from the face of the earth, leaving behind only their empty clothes and shoes. Others think it will be more discreet, perhaps just a sudden feeling of peace and spiritual elevation. But one thing is certain. For those who believe in it, the rapture is the ultimate promise of salvation and liberation. It's the chance to escape all the chaos and suffering of this world. And after the rapture comes the final judgment, the moment when everyone will have to give an account of their actions before the divine tribunal. For believers, this is another moment of relief because they have already been snatched up to heavenly safety. But for unbelievers, well, let's just say it's not a good day to be on the wrong side of the fence. The final judgment is where things get serious. It's when Christ, the supreme judge, separates the sheep from the goats, the righteous from the wicked. For believers, it's a moment of reward and celebration where they receive crowns and rewards for their faithfulness. But for unbelievers, it's the moment to face God's wrath and receive eternal punishment. It's a powerful image. This idea of a final judgment is as if all of human history is converging toward this culminating moment where each person will be confronted with the truth about themselves. And of course, this raises a whole series of questions about what justice is, what mercy is, what love is, because at the end of the day, the rapture and the final judgment are much more than just future events to speculate about. They are powerful reminders that our choices and beliefs have eternal consequences. They are invitations to examine our own lives and ask ourselves which side of the fence we want to be on when the great day arrives.